Hello, good people, and welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time here, my name is Jazz, and I just do videos based on the topics and questions and things I get from my Instagram family, and I bring them on over here so they can be longer and just a touch more in depth. And so, if you want to do that, feel free to drop a question in the comments as far as another video you want me to do, or you can join me on Instagram. My DMs are always open. We have a lot of fun, a lot of good conversation, and all the things. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So today's topic is definitely a serious one. I had a follower ask me, how do you overcome infidelity? How do you get past infidelity? How do you get past being cheated on? How do you get past it? And I just want to say there's really no one size fit all kind of thing, because depending on the circumstances around the infidelity or around the cheating, it might impact you differently, right? Someone discovering emotional cheating might not have a severe reaction, or they might have a real severe reaction. It just depends on where your heartstrings are with certain things, like what really tugs at you, to determine the severity of your reaction to it. But all that to say, cheating of any kind hurts. But the steps to which you get past it, depending on what the consequences of the cheating were, like, did you get a disease? Did a baby come out of the deal? Was it a family member? Right? Like, I think those extra details kind of influence the lengthy process of healing and recovery. So again, there's no one size fit all, right? But as always, I try to bring my personal experience to it and go from there. So number one, the thing to understand is when you've been cheated on, when you've been betrayed in that way, the main thing to understand is that the cheating itself is more so about the other person than it is about you. And that's even if you were the shittiest of shitty shit, excuse me, partners or spouses. It's still more so about them and how they choose to deal with being uncomfortable, how they choose to deal with being in questionable situations, their character, their limits, their capacity, right? Because everybody doesn't have the capacity to do the same things. We all have the same ability. We have the same ability to walk in a room and slap everyone, but it doesn't mean you have the capacity to do it. Some of us are more willing to do that kind of thing than the next. So that's why I said it's more so about the other person and where they are in life than it is about you. So you have to remember that. Separate yourself from their actions. Because if you don't, your self esteem, while it will take a hit, will go even further in the gutter if you try to put yourself in their shoes, or you try to um, reevaluate yourself in an unhealthy way where it's like, oh, maybe if I didn't dress this way, or maybe if I was skinnier, or maybe if I was heavier, or maybe if I, when you start tearing yourself apart because of someone else's actions, it's going to end in disaster. So again, the first thing to understand is that the cheating, the betrayal, is more so about the other person than it is about you. And trust and believe, it is not easy. I literally had to read that in a book when it happened to me. I had to sit down and read that. I had to read a self-help book that was for those who have been cheated on, who were trying to be on the road to recovery. And I had to read those words, that the actions of the other person are not a reflection of who I am as a person. Because, yes, like many people in the world, I have been cheated on. I have been cheated on multiple times. So I understand. I understand that first, like after you're pissed off because you love the person, the next thing is, okay, what can I do different? How can I cater to them more? How can I make them feel seen more? How can I do this and do that and do that and do that? And I'm telling you, if you take that on in that way, they're not going to appreciate it. They're not going to appreciate it because what you're allowing them to do is now distance themselves from what they've done and put it more on you. So I cannot stress that enough. Number one, do not attach yourself to what they have done. The second thing when it comes to overcoming and moving on from that type of betrayal, it is now your job to pour into you more than you have ever done before. I'm talking not just the superficial things, right? Start with the superficial stuff because it's easy, right? It's easy to change your hairstyle. It's easy to start, maybe working out or um, maybe going somewhere once a week just to get yourself to a space of loving yourself or feeling more independent or whatever the case is. You can do little things like that, but start doing some like true inner work. One thing I did when I was cheated on was I went to therapy for myself. We did couples therapy for a little bit, but I put a lot into doing therapy for myself because one, at the time, I was really in a space of struggling with disconnecting myself from his behavior, but also I was trying to figure out why it was hitting me in the different ways it was, right? This is why I said in the beginning, it impacts everybody different. For me, obviously, I was pissed. Obviously, I was hurt. But then there was like this level of just confusion that I was trying to wrestle with. Like, I was genuinely confused because it's no secret that a lot of times the person that somebody will cheat on you with will be something way off of who you are. And this is not a video or time for me to shame anybody, but the people that I was getting cheated on with, I was like, okay, so I thought you had a type, you know? I had this idea in my mind what your type was. And these people are so way left of your type that I'm like, what? Like I genuinely was confused until I learned some more of the science behind that, right? So with that, it behooved me to just continue to pour in myself, grow more within myself, decide what it was I wanted for myself. Did I want to stay in my marriage? Did I want to um do the couples counseling? Did I want to start focusing a little bit more on my own goals? And to be honest with you, I kind of landed somewhere in the middle. I did attempt to, you know, fix my marriage and work on it and all that kind of stuff. However, I still wasn't fully in the place of wanting to be there. So I was also pouring into myself in a way that was, truth be told, preparing me for the ultimate end. As much as I did try to make my marriage work, everything I was really doing for myself was saying otherwise. But then I wasn't fully doing enough for myself, which is why when the marriage ended, it was just kind of like a devastating blow because I didn't do everything I needed to do for myself. So my piece of advice there would be, you got to make up your mind. You got to make up your mind immediately. And I remember my therapist telling me that you got to decide, do you want to be here or not? And whatever that answer is, you got to like push full throttle into that. Like, you gotta, if this is who you want to still be with, you gotta put everything in. Which means, no, you ain't gonna be able to bring it up every time you get pissed off. No, you're not gonna be able to just totally dismiss and ignore their existence because you decided to be here. And on the flip side, if you don't want to be here, then hey, there's no doubling back. There's no, well, I still love you and I want you. Like, you gotta make the choice. Okay? So, my personal advice, and this is not to say that some people's marriages don't recover after infidelity, because I know some who have, right? But the overwhelming majority of us, unfortunately, it's not. Once somebody does that to you once, especially if they end up doing it twice, there's an obvious pattern and a disdain and a disregard for you. So I am of the mind that if they cheat once, you should probably, I'm 98% sure you should leave them alone. And I stand by it. You just got to leave them alone and pour everything you have into yourself. Okay? And then the third thing would be to enjoy that distance, time, and space. Give it the time and space, because that absence from that person will allow you to see them for who they truly are. Sometimes we feel like we know someone because we're with them all the time, but imagine having an object this like imagine having an object this close to your face. Now, you know what this object is because, yeah, you see it. But with it this close to my face, I can't see the other side, right? I can't see the other side of it. I can't see the words that are on the other side of it. I can't see the markings on the other side of it. I actually can't see the light that will let me know that the battery is low or whatever the case is. But these are my headphones. I know they're my headphones. I'm looking at my headphones. I'm with my headphones all the time. So think about it like that. When you have a partner, when you have a spouse, especially when you've been with them for a long period of time, that's what the relationship is like. So people on the other side, where my hand is here, of the headphones will tell you, man, I'm telling you, she cheating on you. Or girl, I'm telling you, he don't like you, or he said this, or he's doing that. And they can see it because they on this side. You see this. And you're like, no, no, they're not doing that. No, they didn't say that. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And I know that it's like, well, how can we ever get to a place of trusting one another? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. And this is going to be a touch controversial. But I don't believe you can trust anybody 100%. Not even your mama or your daddy. You know why? Because everybody has one of these, okay? And one of these, aka the brain, allows you to make choices, allows you to think, allows you to evaluate. It's constantly replaying your own traumas, your own experiences in your head, and it's drawing conclusions. That's why you have some people 1 year they believe in God, and then by year 5 you'll see them 5 years later and they don't. You got somebody 1 year who all they ate was French toast. Now they're a vegan. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's cool, right? Life allows you to change like that, and that happens even with the people that are closest to us. Even with the people that are closest to us. Yeah, you all met, y'all were young. Oh, we vibed out. I know them like the back of my hand. No, you knew them. Who that person was when you met them at 21 might not be who they're going to be at 30, might not be who they're going to be at 40. Even you're going to change. Even you're going to have thoughts and ideas and visions and things that are going to influence new behaviors. So, with that, even the best of people with the best of intentions, you can't trust nobody 100%. You can't. You can't trust nobody 100%. With that in mind, the best thing you can do out of everything I said, again, pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. Focus on who it is you want to be and who you ultimately will be, because that is going to attract who you need and what you need in your life. But also understand that in pouring into yourself, that means that everything around you is now disposable. Anything that violates who you are, who God called you to be, who you know for yourself to be, is disposable. Once you adopt those mindsets, it's whatever. We're not even going to bother getting to the science or getting to the reasons of why men cheat or why women cheat. That's a whole different conversation. We could talk about that for days. But regardless, it doesn't matter what anybody else does. You got to decide the path forward. You got to know that you're enough. You got to know that that person woke up and made choices. Period. Regardless of their reasons, they made choices. And the only person that you owe love to is you. When it comes to relationships, you got to understand that. You cannot be the only one giving 100%. Your 100% will never be enough to carry the both of you long term. I'm going to say that again. Your 100% will never be enough to carry the both of you long term. And because they are the one that made the error, made the choice, mistake, whatever label they want to put on it, they have the work to do. You have work to do too. But as far as re-establishing trust and all those types of things, that's on them. So don't you dare take that on. The only thing you need to take on, again, two things. You need to decide if you want to be there or not. And you need to pour into yourself. Either way, whether you stay or go, you need to pour into yourself and build a new sense of self, a new sense of self-worth, a new sense of self-esteem so you can press forward. It's going to be all right. And I know it hurts. I know it hurts. When I found out I was getting cheated on, I literally slid down the wall. I was ready to leave him and make him a single father. I had wrote up some papers. I was going to put myself on child support. Okay? That's how intense that had me feeling. I like literally threw up. I went down the rabbit hole of where I went wrong. I did all of that stuff. And I'm telling you, it wasn't even a need to do all that. Only thing I needed to do again was decide whether or not I was going to be there and pour into myself in such a way that I could remain whole in spite of someone else's poor decision making. So I hope that helps. If you made it this far, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe, drop a comment, and see you in the next video.